Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where ancient wisdom illuminates modern challenges. Today we explore a poignant question that many of us face but often hesitate to confront. Should you end a relationship, even if it's with family or friends? Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Seneca. In the spirit of Seneca's wisdom, we confront a reality that is as challenging as it is vital, recognizing the signs that it's time to part ways with someone close to us. It's a daunting revelation, isn't it? The realization that relationships, even those steeped in history and affection, might not be serving our journey towards personal growth and fulfillment. Today, we're not just discussing why this is essential. We are diving deep into the 11 signs that it's time to make these tough decisions. It's not about severing ties out of spite or anger, but about choosing paths that lead to our highest good, fostering relationships that encourage mutual growth, virtue, and happiness. So if you're standing at the crossroads weighed down by the decision of whether to hold on or let go, know that you are not alone. Together, we will navigate these turbulent waters, guided by Stoic principles, and find clarity and courage to make choices that resonate with our deepest truths. Join me in this journey, and don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. Hit the like button if you find our discussion enlightening, share this video with someone who might be at their crossroads, and watch each segment attentively. Each moment could be the key to unlocking a more fulfilling path forward. Let's discover together the liberating power of making wise choices about our relationships. One, recognizing growth-stifling relationships. Consider for a moment the essence of growth and personal development in your life. Have you ever felt hindered, unable to progress because someone close to you, perhaps a family member or a friend, fails to support your ambitions or worse, actively obstructs them? It's an unsettling predicament, echoing the wisdom of Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who championed the virtues of personal evolution and lifelong learning. He articulated that to live a life worth living, one must embrace a journey of constant growth, pushing the boundaries of comfort and capability. Reflect on the relationships in your life, those with friends, family, and partners. If you find that these relationships are more confining than liberating, consider this a significant red flag, one that Seneca himself would advise you cannot afford to ignore. While not every relationship should be measured by its ability to propel you to new heights, those who are truly for you will always encourage your growth rather than impede it. They should act as catalysts for positive change and development, not as anchors mired in the sediment of complacency. It's crucial to engage in introspection, to sit down with oneself and ponder deeply. Why do I cling to these bonds? Is it merely out of habit, fear of loneliness, or misplaced loyalty? These are difficult yet essential questions to confront. Remember, genuine connections, the kind that truly merit your time and emotional investment, should elevate you. They should affirm your potential and inspire you to transcend your past achievements. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This timeless adage serves as a poignant reminder that our relationships should not merely be about survival, but about thriving. In modern life, where the pace is relentless and the pressures immense, the right relationships are those that provide not only solace but also a springboard for growth. In essence, take this knowledge and reflect on your current relationships. Are they helping you to live better, to learn more about yourself and the world? If not, it might be time to reconsider their place in your life. As you navigate through these decisions, aim for those bonds that bring out the best in you, fostering an environment where you can continually evolve into a better version of yourself. Epictetus, another revered Stoic, eloquently stated, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Let this wisdom guide you in pruning relationships that no longer serve your highest good, nurturing only those that help you grow and thrive in the tumultuous yet exhilarating journey of life. Stoicism teaches us the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who contribute positively to our lives. It's not about collecting friends or securing approval. It's about carefully choosing who occupies space in your life to ensure they enrich it, spur your growth, and resonate with your deepest values. Consider a scenario. You're striving to pursue a personal goal. Maybe it's starting a business, writing a book, or simply living a healthier lifestyle. Yet you find yourself constantly weighed down by someone in your circle. Every step forward is met with their skepticism or negativity. This isn't just about discomfort. It's about recognizing when a relationship becomes more akin to quicksand than a launch pad. If you're experiencing this, it might be time to reassess its place in your life. Remember, striving for personal growth isn't selfish. It's profoundly human. Sometimes to truly evolve, we must let go of those who hold us back. This release should come not with bitterness but with gratitude. Be thankful for the lessons learned and the inner strength garnered from these experiences. Acknowledge the role these individuals have played in your journey and choose to move forward. Now I ask you, do your relationships act as bridges to your best self, or do they serve as barriers to your growth? Reflect deeply on this question. Consider how transformative it could be to make choices that align more closely with your aspirations and authentic self. A compelling story comes to mind about someone who faced a similar crossroad. Alex, a budding entrepreneur, had a longtime friend who was skeptical about the risks of starting a new business. Initially, Alex appreciated the cautious perspective, but over time he felt his enthusiasm and confidence drain away. After a significant reflection, Alex chose to distance himself from this friend's constant pessimism. This decision wasn't easy, but it allowed him to fully commit to his vision without the weight of unnecessary doubt. Today, Alex runs a successful company and often reflects on that decision as a pivotal moment in his career. As we navigate through life's challenges and opportunities, let's be mindful of who we allow in our inner circle. Cultivating relationships that support and uplift us is not just a side note, it's central to our personal and professional success. So, what will you choose to do with this insight? Will you continue to allow the presence of relationships that cloud your potential? Or will you make the tough yet rewarding decisions that pave the way to your true self and the achievements that await you? In conclusion, the journey of self-improvement and personal success is significantly influenced by the company we keep. By ensuring our relationships are aligned with our goals and values, we set ourselves up not only for success but for a life of genuine fulfillment and growth. This is the power and essence of living a Stoic life, making choices that not only challenge us, but also propel us forward. 2. Constantly facing negative feelings. In our lives, the relationships we foster can either be sources of strength or wellsprings of incessant drama and negativity. Have you ever found yourself consistently mired in feelings of jealousy, anger, or resentment when interacting with someone close to you? If drama seems to be the recurring theme, and support appears to be conspicuously absent from the equation, it's not only draining, it's a stark indicator that something fundamental might need to change. Consider the wise words of Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher who taught us a valuable lesson about emotional resilience. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Applying this insight to our interpersonal connections, it becomes evident that when negative emotions consistently overshadow the positives, it might be time to reevaluate the dynamics of those relationships. Isn't it crucial then to ask yourself whether these relationships encourage your growth or constantly drag you into emotional turmoil? Indeed, relationships are meant to be sanctuaries of peace and mutual growth, not battlegrounds of emotional distress. It's essential to recognize when a relationship consistently leaves you battling negative emotions. Such experiences are clear indicators, prompting us to consider if the bonds we cherish are truly beneficial, or if they hinder our journey toward self-improvement. This raises an important question for reflection. In your own relationships, how often do you feel uplifted and how often are you weighed down by negativity? Understanding this balance can be a powerful step towards making decisions that align more closely with your well-being and your Stoic ideals of tranquility and resilience. As we navigate these complex emotional landscapes, it's worth remembering that every relationship should contribute positively to our lives. If not, it may be wise to heed the signs and reconsider the role these individuals play in your personal journey. After all, isn't our ultimate goal to surround ourselves with people who not only share but also enhance our life's path? In the course of life, akin to a seasoned captain at the helm, you must discern when to stay the course and when to change direction. This decision becomes particularly crucial in the context of personal relationships. Stoic wisdom, particularly that of Marcus Aurelius, teaches us an invaluable lesson on emotional resilience. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he once noted. This powerful idea serves as our anchor. Imagine encountering jealousy as you perceive a friend advancing in life while you feel anchored in place, or anger when someone consistently undermines you. These emotions are natural, yet how we respond to them can redefine our relationships and ultimately our life's trajectory. The first step is to cultivate a profound awareness of these feelings. Ask yourself probing questions. Why does this emotion surface? What lesson might it hold for me? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my highest aspirations? Navigating these waters is no easy task. It requires vigilance and the courage to ask tough questions. Sometimes the most courageous act is not to endure but to step back and assess whether the relationship is mutually uplifting or if it's a relentless tug into negative cycles. This assessment isn't about assigning blame or admitting defeat. It's an acknowledgement of the dynamic nature of relationships. Some are meant for a season, others for a lifetime, and wisdom lies in recognizing the difference. This principle mirrors the Stoic belief in living harmoniously with nature. Just as nature sometimes gently separates paths, we too must recognize when a relationship season has reached its natural conclusion. If your reflections bring you back to consistent struggles against negative emotions within any relationship, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. Reflect on his wisdom, harness your inner strength, and make the choice to surround yourself with people who elevate and support you. As we chart our course through life's relationships, embracing these Stoic principles not only helps in managing our emotional responses, but also in making decisions that nurture our well-being and growth. Thus, by aligning our relationships with our values and aspirations, we find not just peace and strength, but a life that is deeply fulfilling. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics to navigate the complex currents of relationships, ensuring that each connection you maintain enriches and supports your journey toward personal excellence and peace. 3. The dangers of manipulation and control. Next, let's delve into a topic that is both challenging and essential for our understanding of healthy relationships: the dangers of manipulation and control. Imagine walking through life, feeling less like a partner and more like a puppet. This situation is a massive red flag signaling the need for a deeper discussion about autonomy and freedom. Epictetus, the ancient Stoic philosopher, once profoundly stated, "No one is free who is not master of himself." Reflect on this for a moment. True freedom originates from within. It arises when we are in control of our actions, decisions, and, by extension, our lives. But what does this imply when we find ourselves in relationships where we feel sidelined, where it seems like we're not the ones making the key decisions, where our desires and even our thoughts appear to be controlled by someone else? It's a clear indication that something is fundamentally amiss. Manipulation and control can manifest in many ways, some subtle and some overt. It might begin with small suggestions, subtly steering you away from your passions, gradually escalating to more apparent demands dictating who you should associate with, how you should behave, or what goals you should pursue. This is not what a healthy relationship looks like. True connections, the ones that genuinely merit our time and emotional investment, are founded on mutual respect and the freedom to be ourselves, without fear of judgment or manipulation. Consider the story of Alex, a young software developer who was passionate about his hobby, photography. His partner, however, dismissed it as a trivial pursuit, subtly nudging him to spend more time on practical activities that aligned more with her interests. Over time, Alex began sidelining his own passions to accommodate her, losing a part of himself in the process. It was only when a close friend pointed out how much he had changed that Alex realized he was in a manipulative relationship that stifled his personal growth and freedom. Have you ever felt like Alex? Found yourself altering your interests, your personality, or even your dreams, just to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be? It's crucial to recognize these signs and reconsider the dynamics of such relationships. Are the relationships you're in allowing you to be true to yourself? This is an open-ended question that I encourage you to ponder deeply. Healthy relationships should empower you to be your best self, not constrain you into a mold crafted by someone else. Stoicism, a school of philosophy that teaches us the art of autonomy and self-mastery, offers profound guidance when it comes to navigating our relationships. Imagine yourself as the captain of a ship, steering through the vast seas of life. Now, think about the relationships you hold dear. Are they helping you steer true to your course, or are they throwing you into turbulent waters? If you find yourself constantly second-guessing your choices or feeling as though your wings are clipped within a relationship, it's crucial to pause and reflect. Why stay in a dynamic that stifles your freedom and prevents you from writing your own life story? Here's an important consideration. Choosing to end a relationship with someone who is manipulating or controlling isn't an act of harshness. It's an act of self-respect. Reflect on the words of Epictetus, a sage who famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This wisdom underscores the essence of Stoicism and the importance of reclaiming your autonomy, the freedom to make your own choices, to grow, and to live a life aligned with your values. But how do you recognize when it's time to step away? What are the signs that a relationship is more harmful than beneficial? These are not decisions to be made lightly, especially when they involve someone you care deeply about. Yet Stoicism teaches us that it isn't about choosing the easy path, but rather the right path. Have you ever felt that despite your love or loyalty to someone, your personal growth and inner peace were being compromised? If so, what did that moment teach you about the value of your own well-being? Making the decision to end a relationship can be incredibly tough. It might mean letting go of something familiar or someone integral to your life. However, remember that every decision you make shapes the narrative of your life. Are you ready to author a story that resonates deeply with your personal philosophy and values? As we explore these themes, I invite you to ponder this. In your relationships, are you able to remain true to your Stoic values, or do you find yourself compromising your autonomy? How does this alignment, or lack thereof, affect your peace of mind and personal growth? Our journey through Stoicism isn't just about intellectual understanding, it's about practical application. As you reflect on these questions and your own experiences, consider the paths that will lead you not just to outer harmony with others, but most importantly, to inner peace with yourself. In the quest to cultivate a life marked by genuine fulfillment and authenticity, it is often necessary to reevaluate the ties that bind us, be they familial or friendly. As we navigate through the labyrinth of relationships, it's paramount to discern which ones truly enrich our existence and which ones detract from it. Relationships that honor our individuality and autonomy not only foster our growth, but also encourage us to explore and question the world around us. They are the relationships that do not seek to mold us into predetermined shapes or impose upon us a dictated way of living. Reflecting on the profound words of Epictetus, "No one is truly free who isn't master of himself," we find a guiding light. If you ever feel as though you're merely a puppet in someone else's hands, it may be time to sever those strings that constrain you and step into the freedom of being your true self. This act of liberation is not merely about asserting independence, but about reclaiming the essence of who you are and the course of life you choose to pursue. Embarking on this journey of self-emancipation is a courageous step towards a life where you are the sole architect of your destiny, surrounded by relationships that uplift and respect your autonomy. In the pursuit of such empowering connections, we must cherish and seek out those who encourage us to stand as masters of our own lives. This is the essence of true friendship and love. They should liberate us, not confine us. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Apply this wisdom by not mirroring those who have sought to limit you, but by thriving in your newfound freedom and helping others to recognize when it is time to let go of toxic relationships. In today's fast-paced world, where the pressure to conform is immense, embracing and advocating for our personal freedom is not only an act of self-care but a profound statement of our values. In conclusion, let us strive to cultivate relationships that respect our freedom, encourage our growth, and recognize our right to autonomy. Such relationships are the bedrock of a fulfilling life, where each step we take is a testament to our authenticity and independence. By setting ourselves free from the shackles of oppressive relationships, we not only enhance our own lives but also set a beacon for others to follow. This is not just a personal journey, but a collective movement towards a more liberated and authentic existence. 4. Identifying harmful relationship dynamics. Consider a scenario where every interaction with a friend or family member leaves you more depleted than when you started, where your time together sows seeds of anxiety rather than joy, and support seems to be a one-way street. Have you ever found yourself in such a situation, feeling the weight of perpetual disagreements or a sense of melancholy that lingers long after they've left? This is a clear indicator that the relationship may be doing more harm than good. In the words of the Stoics, a life well lived is harmonious and tranquil, aligned with both our inner nature and the greater natural order. Relationships, according to Stoic wisdom, should not lead us into turmoil, but should rather foster our ability to thrive and find peace. Now imagine you are Sarah, a young professional whose interactions with a longtime friend consistently leave her doubting her worth and drained of energy. Despite the history and memories shared, each meeting is overshadowed by criticism and negativity. Sarah's story isn't unique. Many of us have found ourselves in similar dynamics, grappling with the decision of whether to endure or to step away. The Stoics teach us the value of relationships that enhance our lives, urging us to seek out and cultivate connections that bring joy, provide support, and enrich our existence without compromise to our well-being or our pursuit of virtue. Are you holding on to relationships that disrupt your peace and hinder your personal growth? Reflecting on this can be the first step towards realizing which ties enrich your life and which ones undermine your tranquility and self-esteem. The essence of Stoic philosophy encourages us to evaluate our connections based on whether they align with our principles and contribute positively to our lives. If a relationship consistently pulls you away from your best self, it may be time to consider what steps are necessary to reclaim your peace. As you navigate these challenging waters, remember that ending a harmful relationship isn't just about distancing yourself from negativity. It's about making room in your life for relationships that truly matter and align with your values. The decision to step back can be profoundly difficult, yet it is also an act of self-respect and a commitment to your own mental and emotional well-being. What will you choose to cultivate in your life, and how will you protect your peace and pursue a virtuous, tranquil existence? Take this moment to think about the relationships in your life. Are they helping you grow and bringing you joy, or are they draining your energy and spirit? Let this reflection guide you toward nurturing bonds that uplift and support you in true Stoic fashion as you journey through the ebbs and flows of life. If you've ever felt the weight of a relationship that seems more draining than fulfilling, it's crucial to pause and reflect. Imagine the wise counsel of a Stoic philosopher guiding you. Is this relationship nourishing your well-being? Does it foster your growth, or does it sap your vitality, casting shadows on your spirits? If you find yourself often depleted in someone's company, it's essential to confront these feelings with honesty and courage. Stoicism isn't about suppressing our emotions. Rather, it teaches us the virtue of self-awareness and the bravery required to make decisions that honor our well-being. Marcus Aurelius once remarked, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom beckons us to discern the roles people play in our lives. Are they bolstering our strength or undermining our peace? Making the decision to step back from a toxic relationship is a profound demonstration of self-respect. It's not about severing ties on a whim. It's about thoughtful consideration of whether a relationship is symbiotic or parasitic. Reflect on this. When was the last time this relationship brought you peace or empowered you? This question isn't meant to stir resentment, but to prompt a reflection on the nature of your interactions. Navigating the complexities of personal connections requires us to be stoic, not in the sense of emotional detachment, but in maintaining our equilibrium amidst turbulence. Seneca advised, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." How might your life improve if you choose relationships that align with your highest virtues? What might you achieve if your energies were no longer hijacked by negativity? As you contemplate these questions, engage in a dialogue with yourself. Are you honoring your path and potential by maintaining certain relationships? Remember, the essence of Stoicism lies in recognizing and pursuing what genuinely serves us in the grand tapestry of life. Sometimes the bravest and most stoic act is deciding to walk away from relationships that diminish our light, rather than contribute to its brilliance. Navigating the terrain of relationships, whether familial or platonic, demands a keen awareness of when they serve our growth and when they hinder our peace. If you find yourself nodding in agreement, feeling a chord struck within your experiences, it's a pivotal moment to pause and reflect. Engaging in forthright and open communication is essential. Consider this the first step in addressing the discord or dissatisfaction you may be feeling. It's through these honest conversations that we map out potential changes, or decide if it's necessary to prioritize our own peace and well-being over maintaining a disruptive bond. Epictetus, a luminary in Stoic philosophy, once remarked, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This emphasizes the Stoic principle of being reflective and thoughtful in our interactions. Relationships, at their core, should be bastions of support, love, and mutual growth. They ought to enrich our lives, not complicate them with undue stress or strife. Hence, if the dynamics of a relationship after genuine attempts at resolution remain fraught, it may be time to consider letting go. The Stoics advocate for nurturing our personal well-being by fostering relationships that are healthful and liberating ourselves from those that are not. Committing to this path is not merely about ending relationships, but about seeking and cultivating connections that bring joy, growth, and tranquility into our lives. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic sage, advised, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This quote underscores the importance of wholehearted engagement in relationships that are meant for us, and the wisdom to release those that are not. As we face these challenges and make tough decisions, we grow stronger and become more aligned with our true selves. The journey of discerning which relationships to continue and which to release is integral to personal growth. This process, tough as it may be, is quintessentially Stoic. It embodies the virtue of embracing what serves us and having the sagacity to let go of what doesn't. In essence, the courage to maintain or end relationships is a profound exercise in self-respect and authenticity. It invites us to live more fully in alignment with our values and to cultivate a life replete with meaningful, nurturing connections. This is the Stoic path to personal peace and empowerment, a testament to the enduring relevance of ancient wisdom in the contemporary quest for a fulfilled life. 5. The foundation of mutual respect. The foundation of mutual respect is non-negotiable. Think of it this way. Without respect, What foundation do we really have? It's akin to attempting to build a house on sand. It's only a matter of time before everything collapses. In our Stoic traditions, the virtue of living a life grounded in respect is paramount. The ancient Stoics placed immense value on self-respect and the respect owed to each other, underlining that every individual possesses inherent worth and dignity. This belief forms the core of how we should interact. Imagine you're in a relationship where you constantly feel disregarded or undervalued. This isn't merely about feeling unappreciated. It's a clear sign that a fundamental aspect of your humanity is being overlooked. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It's the foundation upon which trust, love, and genuine understanding thrive. Without it, what are you left with? A hollow, unfulfilling connection that's not worth your emotional investment or time. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if it's not that simple? What if I really care about this person? These questions are valid, as relationships are invariably complex and emotions deeply powerful. Yet, this is where the clarity and rationality of Stoicism can help us navigate through. Stoicism teaches us to live in alignment with our highest values, urging us to consider whether staying in a relationship that lacks mutual respect truly aligns with those values. Let's consider a modern example. Sarah, a project manager, noticed that her work friend Tom repeatedly dismissed her ideas in meetings and belittled her efforts in front of colleagues. Despite their long-standing friendship and her affection for him, Sarah felt increasingly disrespected and undervalued. After much reflection, guided by Stoic principles, she decided to confront Tom about his behavior, prepared to end the friendship if necessary. This decision was tough but aligned with her commitment to mutual respect and personal dignity. She realized that enduring such treatment would compromise her well-being and self-respect. What about you? Have you ever found yourself justifying someone's disrespectful behavior because you deeply care for them? How does that align with your values and the respect you owe to yourself? In conclusion, if you find yourself in a relationship lacking mutual respect, consider it a significant red flag. Reflect on whether this aligns with your highest principles. Remember, every relationship, be it familial, friendly, or romantic, should enhance your life, not detract from your dignity. Choosing to step away from those that fail to meet this criterion is not only a Stoic response but a profoundly self-respecting decision. This act of courage ensures you are true to yourself and to the timeless wisdom that teaches us to seek out relationships that genuinely enrich our lives. Navigating the intricate web of personal relationships demands a profound understanding of one's self-worth and an unwavering commitment to live by the virtues we hold dear. When we find ourselves entrenched in relationships that lack mutual respect, whether they be with family or friends, it beckons us to question, am I being true to myself by remaining in this dynamic? This question, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, emphasizes the importance of aligning our external relationships with our internal values. Continuing in a connection where one feels consistently undervalued or disrespected runs contrary to the principles of Stoicism. The Stoics would argue that such a situation is a betrayal not only to oneself, but to the very virtues of integrity and respect that we strive to embody. Marcus Aurelius, a luminary in Stoic thought, once remarked, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." If people in your life do not treat you with the dignity you extend to them, it is not vengeful but wise to reassess your involvement with them. This does not always mean cutting ties abruptly, but initiating a process of honest reflection on what these relationships represent in your life and how they affect your peace of mind. Taking proactive steps like engaging in heart-to-heart conversations to express your feelings or setting clearer boundaries might be effective initial measures. However, there are instances where the most healthy and respectful option is to step away entirely. Making such a decision, though difficult, is not rooted in lack of compassion, but in self-preservation and respect for oneself. Insisting on respectful treatment from others is neither selfish nor demanding. It represents a fundamental reflection of your self-worth. How have you navigated situations where your dignity was compromised? What steps did you take to ensure that your social bonds did not undermine your personal values? As we strive to cultivate relationships that truly reflect the respect and virtue we seek, it's crucial to continuously evaluate the nature of our connections. A healthy relationship should not merely survive on the bare minimum, but thrive on mutual respect and appreciation, embodying the best of Stoic wisdom. Such relationships enrich our lives, providing not just companionship, but also a mirror reflecting our commitment to living a principled life. In fostering such connections, we not only honor ourselves, but also those we choose to keep close, promoting bonds that are nurturing and enduring. In your own journey, how often do you pause to consider whether your relationships mirror the values you cherish? Engage with us by sharing your experiences and insights in the comments below. Let's explore together the profound impact that living true to Stoic principles can have on our personal connections and overall well-being. 6. Reality versus illusions in relationships. In the intricate journey of life, the relationships we forge are integral to our happiness and emotional well-being. Yet, it's essential to discern whether these connections are rooted in the stark reality of our lives, or if they are merely figments of our wishful thinking. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy anchored in the acceptance of life's true nature, offers a valuable perspective on this issue. It teaches us that genuine strength and freedom come from perceiving things as they really are, stripped of any rose-tinted illusions. Consider a relationship that looks flawless from a distance. It's easy to believe in the illusion of perfection. Yet, as one draws closer and the mirage begins to dissipate, the reality that emerges can be jarringly different. This situation is common when we choose to view those close to us, be they partners or friends, through an overly forgiving lens, focusing solely on their positive aspects, while dismissing the warning signs of deeper issues. The Stoics advise us to adopt a pragmatic and grounded approach to life, which includes our interpersonal relationships. They compel us to scrutinize our bonds critically and to question whether we are clinging to a fantasy. Are we overlooking critical flaws? Are we constructing an idealized version of someone that diverges significantly from their true self? Acknowledging yes to these questions suggests that we are ensnared in an illusion, one that hinders the development of authentic, deep connections. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, aptly noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This insightful remark urges us to confront our illusions about our relationships head-on and to seek the truth even if it proves uncomfortable or challenging. This endeavor demands a high degree of honesty and vulnerability, attributes that may seem daunting, but are incredibly empowering. Embracing reality over fantasy in our relationships allows us to establish a firm foundation for genuine, enduring connections. It's vital to distinguish between healthy aspirations and the dangerous terrain of losing ourselves in fantasies that undermine our capacity to engage meaningfully with those around us. Although hope and dreams certainly have their place within our relationships, they must not obscure the essential task of connecting authentically and honestly with others. In today's world, where appearances are often deceptive and social media frequently presents a skewed view of reality, applying Stoic principles to our relationships is more crucial than ever. We are challenged to see our personal connections as they truly are, fostering relationships that are not only fulfilling, but also based on truth and reality. By integrating these Stoic ideals into our daily lives, we can navigate our relationships with more clarity and sincerity, ensuring that the strength of our bonds is derived from their truthfulness, not the illusions we might otherwise be tempted to believe. The journey toward embracing reality over the comforting veils of illusion can be profoundly transformative. Often it means coming to terms with the fact that a relationship may not be what we had initially perceived, or realizing that the person we are with is not the idealized version we had hoped for. Facing these truths is undoubtedly difficult, yet it is a pivotal step toward genuine growth and emotional liberation. By acknowledging the reality of our relationships, we clear the space to form connections that are truly authentic, where love can flourish unconditionally based on who we really are, rather than the illusions we've conjured up in our minds. Consider this. If you ever feel bound to illusions within your relationships, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself which aspects of your relationship are grounded in reality, and which parts have you perhaps embellished or imagined. Ponder how this alignment or misalignment with the truth impacts your happiness and overall well-being. Stoicism, contrary to common misconceptions, does not advocate for pessimism or a resignation to misery. On the contrary, it's a philosophy that encourages us to find peace and satisfaction by embracing the world as it truly is. Stoicism teaches that by accepting reality, we equip ourselves to navigate life and our interpersonal relationships with greater wisdom, clarity, and stability, qualities that mere illusions are too frail to support. Challenge yourself to view your relationships through the lens of Stoic acceptance. Dare to accept the truth, no matter how challenging it may be. And by doing so, allow yourself to pursue the kind of deep, meaningful relationships that truly enrich your life. It is within the clarity of truth that we discover the roads leading to real happiness and love. Let me share a modern story that resonates with these Stoic principles. Imagine Sarah, a young graphic designer, who for years clung to a friendship that was once vibrant and supportive. Over time, however, she noticed that her friend seemed less interested in her life, frequently canceling plans and neglecting their shared projects. Despite the clear signs of a fading friendship, Sarah held on to the belief that things would return to how they once were. It wasn't until she applied the Stoic practice of seeing things as they are that she acknowledged the reality. The friendship had changed. This acceptance led her to invest time in relationships that were reciprocally supportive and truly fulfilling, which brought new depth and joy into her life. Now, why not consider your own relationships? Are there any that might not be as you perceive them to be? Reflect on this, and think about how accepting the truth might change the way you approach these relationships. In embracing Stoicism, we learn that acceptance of reality isn't about cutting ties arbitrarily, but rather about evaluating which relationships truly contribute to our well-being and which detract from it. By striving for authenticity in our connections, we can cultivate a life rich with genuine affection and mutual respect, laying the foundation for lasting happiness and love. 7. The non-negotiables. Imagine for a moment that you're standing at a crossroads in your relationship. This could be with a family member, a close friend, or even a significant other. The choice seems stark. Compromise your deepest values or steer your own course. It's a daunting scenario, yet it's one that demands a reflective pause, especially from a Stoic perspective. Why? Because the very essence of Stoicism teaches us that there are certain things in life, our core values, that are simply non-negotiable. Think about what these values mean to you. They are not just abstract concepts. They are the guiding principles of your life, the moral compass that directs not only your decisions, but also shapes your identity, influences your choices, and dictates how you interact with the world around you. Marcus Aurelius once remarked, "Your life is what your thoughts make it." So what happens when a relationship pressures you to stray from these thoughts, these fundamental values that make you who you are? Compromising on these key aspects of your identity is a price too steep to pay. This isn't merely about making sacrifices. Those are a normal part of any healthy relationship. It's about the potential betrayal of your very essence. Initially, the discrepancies might appear minor, but over time these compromises can accumulate, gradually eroding your sense of self and the principles you've vowed to live by. To give up on these is to lose a part of yourself, and Stoicism argues strongly against this loss. Now, why should this matter to you? Because in the words of Epictetus, we are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. In other words, the conflict itself, isn't what diminishes us, it's the decision to go against our grain that does. So, I ask you, when faced with a relationship that challenges your non-negotiables, what will your choice be? Will you bend until you break, or will you stand firm in your values even if it means walking a path alone? This reflection isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's a call to action, a moment to decide the kind of life you wish to lead. Reflect on this. Are the relationships in your life enhancing your identity or compromising it? Are they helping you grow or slowly stripping away the layers of your true self? In an age where our lives are intertwined with myriad relationships, it is the teachings of Stoicism that remind us of the fundamental importance of integrity and virtue. These are not merely high ideals to be admired from a distance, but are practical tools meant to guide you through the convoluted paths of life. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, the venerated sages of Stoicism, consistently preached the significance of adhering to one's values, even amidst the tempest of external pressures and alluring temptations. Their wisdom is particularly relevant when examining the dynamics of personal relationships that may seem essential, but are detrimental. Consider the profound words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When faced with relationships that demand the compromise of your core values, this insight serves as a critical juncture to halt and introspect. It is essential to question the benefits of any relationship. Does it enrich your being and foster your growth, or does it shackle you to a version of yourself that you neither recognize nor respect? It's a pivotal inquiry that challenges the status quo of our interactions. Navigating such troubled waters is undoubtedly challenging, especially when emotions cloud judgment. Here, the Stoic practice of self-reflection becomes indispensable. By dispassionately analyzing your relationships through the lens of your core values, a clearer picture emerges. This method allows you to make decisions that resonate not only with your well-being, but also respect the essence of who you aspire to be. Moreover, it's important to remember that making choices that align with your values does not always lead to immediate happiness, but they steer you towards a more fulfilling life. As Seneca once said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This perspective is crucial in understanding that the relinquishment of unsuitable relationships is not a loss, but a gain of integrity and personal alignment. In our contemporary lives, filled with distractions and varying definitions of success, maintaining Stoic virtues can seem daunting. However, applying these age-old principles helps us navigate through life's complexities with a clearer conscienza and a more focused vision. By evaluating our relationships against our values, we invite into our lives those who not only accept, but encourage our most authentic selves. Imagine you are standing at a crossroads in your life where every relationship, be it familial, friendly, or professional, demands scrutiny. Stoicism teaches us that true respect for oneself stems from the courage to walk away from any relationship that fails to honor our personal values. This isn't a sign of failure but a bold statement of self-respect. It's saying, I value myself enough to seek out only those relationships that uplift, respect, and resonate with the essence of who I am. Consider Sarah, a young professional who found herself routinely undermined by a colleague. Despite her efforts to mend the relationship, the situation persisted, eroding her confidence. It was only when she decided to prioritize her well-being and professional growth over maintaining a disruptive connection that she found peace and progress. Sarah's experience illustrates a key Stoic principle: maintaining integrity and virtue in our interactions. Like Sarah, when we choose relationships that reflect our values, we not only stay true to ourselves but also navigate life's challenges more effectively. This adherence to personal values is what defines and guides us through life's highs and lows. It leads us to genuine fulfillment, not through external validation, but through self-respect and purposeful connections. Remember, it's essential to keep your values close, cherish them, and steadfastly refuse to compromise them for anyone or anything. By doing this, you honor not only the wisdom of the Stoics, but also pave the way for relationships that are genuine, meaningful, and truly enriching. Now think about the relationships in your life. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are you compromising your values for the sake of harmony or because it's genuinely challenging to let go? Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to say goodbye, to choose ourselves, and to build bridges with those who truly align with our paths. The lesson here is clear. It's not the number of our relationships, but their quality that enriches our lives. Embrace those connections that respect and reflect your true self, for these are the relationships that will lead you to true happiness and fulfillment. So, as you reflect on your current connections, challenge yourself to live with the integrity and virtue admired by the Stoics. Ensure your relationships respect and reflect your values, not undermine them. This commitment to self-respect and alignment with one's values is not just a pathway to personal fulfillment, but also a way to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections in our lives. 8. Reciprocity and balance in relationships. In exploring the intricate dynamics of relationships, we must address the principle of reciprocity, which fundamentally represents the balance of give and take between individuals. It's about ensuring that both parties are equally supported and that each contributes meaningfully to the relationship's sustenance. But let's delve deeper. What does it truly mean when this balance is disrupted? What if you find yourself entrenched in a relationship where you're invariably the giver, while reciprocation is minimal or non-existent? This is a common predicament, one that may not only feel unfair, but can profoundly impact your emotional and psychological well-being. Reciprocity isn't merely advantageous, it's essential for the health and longevity of any relationship. Consider the wise words of Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This notion can be applied to relationships as well. In a connection where one person continuously gives and the other continuously takes, the imbalance not only breeds resentment and fatigue in the giver, but can foster dependency or a sense of entitlement in the receiver. Such conditions are contrary to the foundations of a healthy, thriving relationship. Moreover, this imbalance can slowly erode the core of what makes relationships valuable: mutual respect and appreciation. When one partner consistently overlooks the efforts of the other, the relationship is skewed towards a power dynamic rather than a partnership. It's vital to ask ourselves, are we nurturing a relationship that uplifts both parties? Or are we trapped in a cycle of unequal exchange? Engaging in this introspection is crucial. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Do they bring equilibrium and joy, or do they leave you feeling depleted? If you're consistently finding yourself on the giving end of an imbalanced relationship, it might be time to consider a fundamental question. Is this relationship serving your well-being, or is it time to let go for the sake of your personal growth and happiness? In addressing these concerns, it's important to communicate openly with your counterparts. A dialogue about feelings and expectations can sometimes rebalance the scales. However, if efforts to establish equality are met with indifference or resistance, it could be a clear sign that the relationship may not be viable long-term. By fostering relationships that are balanced and reciprocal, we not only enrich our own lives but also uphold the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In this context, choosing to cultivate healthy relationships is not only a personal triumph, but a profound expression of your values and integrity. The Stoics profoundly understood the essence of relationships and the critical need for mutual support. They championed the ideal of contributing positively to the well-being of others without compromising one's own mental and emotional health. For them, the quintessential relationship was grounded in harmony and mutual respect, where both parties bolster each other's pursuit of virtue and a fulfilling life. If you find yourself entrenched in a one-sided relationship, it's essential to pause and reflect upon the Stoic principles of balance and mutual respect. Consider the questions. Are you truly respecting yourself by tolerating this imbalance? Are you honoring the other person by perpetuating a dynamic that stifles their potential for growth and meaningful contribution? Confronting these imbalances does not necessarily culminate in ending the relationship. Rather, it presents a pivotal opportunity for personal and relational development. The process begins with open communication, voicing your needs, establishing clear boundaries, and exploring avenues to infuse greater equity into the relationship. It's about fostering an environment where both individuals are encouraged to contribute, not just materially, but also emotionally and spiritually. By applying these Stoic insights to modern-day relationships, we can cultivate deeper understanding and resilience. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "What is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee." This metaphor highlights the importance of ensuring that relationships are beneficial for all involved. As you navigate your relational landscape, remember that fostering balance and mutual respect not only enriches your connections, but also aligns with the Stoic pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling life. Engage in these practices not out of obligation, but from a place of genuine desire for mutual growth and well-being, setting a foundation for healthier and more supportive relationships in our contemporary world. Healthy relationships are dynamic entities, continuously evolving and adapting over time. They demand effort, compromise, and a flexible attitude, but their foundation must always be rooted in reciprocity. In any relationship, be it with family or friends, each participant should feel equally valued, heard, and supported. This mutual support is crucial, as it builds trust, deepens connections, and creates an environment conducive to the growth and well-being of everyone involved. Reflect on your own relationships. Do you feel that there is a balance between giving and receiving? Seeking equilibrium in your relationships is far from selfish. It is essential for sustaining not only your well-being, but also the health of your connections. It's about making sure that you are not the only one giving, but also receiving the support, love, and respect you rightfully deserve. Imagine for a moment a friend of yours, Jamie. Jamie was always there for her friends, always the first to offer help. Yet when she faced personal challenges, she found that her calls went unanswered, her needs unmet. This realization struck her deeply, prompting her to reevaluate her connections and seek out more reciprocal relationships, those that brought enrichment and mutual respect. Her story underscores the importance of balance in our personal connections. Now ask yourself, are my relationships enriching my life? Are they based on mutual respect and understanding? Let's embrace the Stoic principles of balance and mutual respect. It's vital to nurture relationships where reciprocity is the norm, not the exception, and where every interaction adds to a foundation of mutual support. So, strive to cultivate relationships that not only survive but thrive on the principles of mutual benefit. Such connections are not just sustainable but are truly enriching for all parties involved. Through the give and take of life, we discover the true essence of meaningful relationships. In doing so, we find that the most fulfilling relationships are those where both parties grow and evolve together, lifted by the tide of mutual support and respect. By fostering such balanced relationships, we uphold the Stoic ideal of a harmonious life, ensuring that our social connections contribute positively to our life's journey. Each relationship should be a source of support, inspiration, and mutual growth, enriching our lives and the lives of those we care about. 9. Dealing with abuse. In this crucial conversation, we delve deep into the heart of a distressing yet vital topic: the presence of abuse in relationships. Abuse, whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, unequivocally demands that we reconsider our ties and often sever them. This is not just about discomfort or disagreement. It's about a fundamental violation of human dignity and safety, tenets that are cornerstones of both healthy relationships and Stoic philosophy. Stoicism isn't merely a set of teachings from ancient times. It's a living, breathing guide that champions dignity, self-respect, and the intrinsic value of every human being. Consider this. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." In the context of abuse, This means that any relationship that undermines your well-being also erodes the collective health of all involved. This perspective is critical because it shifts our focus from individual suffering to collective consequences. When faced with abuse, Stoicism doesn't call for passive endurance. Instead, it empowers us to take decisive action. It teaches us to recognize our worth and to protect our dignity and self-respect at all costs. These are not lofty, unreachable ideals, but rather actionable mandates that guide us in navigating life's storms. How do we then apply these Stoic principles when abuse enters the frame? It starts by acknowledging that enduring abuse is incompatible with living a virtuous and dignified life. The degradation of one's sense of self, the control and fear instilled by an abuser, these are antithetical to everything Stoicism stands for. Stoic wisdom implores us to seek help and to extricate ourselves from toxic dynamics. It's not about retaliation or anger. It's about respecting ourselves and reaffirming our right to live free from harm. So, I invite you to reflect. Are there relationships in your life that consistently undermine your dignity or sense of safety? What steps can you take to reclaim your well-being and align your life with the Stoic pursuit of virtue? Remember, taking action to leave an abusive situation is a profound demonstration of self-respect and an affirmation of your value as an individual. How can you begin this process today, and what support will you need to transition toward a healthier environment? Navigating these turbulent waters requires courage, clarity, and the support of a community, elements that you, as part of this Stoic journey, undoubtedly possess. Let's continue to discuss and support each other in making choices that honor our collective and individual dignity. Your resilience and dedication to living a Stoic life, even in the face of adversity, are what make this journey profoundly transformative. In a world where personal boundaries are often crossed and toxic relationships can encroach upon our peace, understanding when and how to decisively end a relationship is crucial, whether it concerns family or friends. Stoic philosophy, with its profound insights on personal resilience and ethical living, provides a timeless guide to navigating these rough waters. Exiting an abusive relationship, be it emotional, physical, or psychological, stands as one of the most daunting challenges one might face. It demands not just immense courage and strength, but a solid support system. Stoicism teaches us the value of wisdom gleaned from those who have traversed similar paths or from professionals who can offer guidance and support. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This encapsulates the Stoic belief that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness, an affirmation of self-worth and a commitment to a life free from harm. Stoicism doesn't merely advocate for the exit from abusive situations. It also emphasizes the process of healing and reclaiming one's dignity and self-respect after such experiences. The philosophy teaches us that while we have no control over others' actions, our responses and our journey forward remain in our hands. The journey of healing from abuse is a Stoic journey, about reasserting control over our inner world, reaffirming our values, and rebuilding our lives in alignment with those values. To those in abusive situations, it's crucial to recognize that the abuse is not your fault and you're not alone. Reaching out for help, relying on the strength of supportive friends or family, and taking decisive steps to leave are all reflective of the highest respect you can show yourself. These actions pave the way toward a life where your dignity, self-respect, and well-being are prioritized. In the spirit of Stoic resilience, we must remember the importance of valuing ourselves, respecting our inherent worth, and taking decisive action to extricate ourselves from harmful situations. As we stand firm in our commitment to dignity and self-respect, we must pursue a life not just free from abuse, but one rich in virtue and meaning, echoing the words of Seneca. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Connecting with this ancient wisdom can transform our modern lives, offering a roadmap to reclaiming peace and dignity in the face of adversity. By integrating these Stoic principles, we encourage not just survival, but a flourishing life that transcends past traumas. Engage with these teachings, reflect on their relevance, and take thoughtful, informed actions to foster a healthier, more virtuous life. In doing so, we honor the best of what Stoic philosophy offers, empowering us to live with intention and integrity, no matter the challenges we face. 10. Failed communication. Failed communication presents a formidable challenge in any relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or partners. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where discussions seem futile, understanding each other feels nearly impossible, and every attempt to connect just widens the gap? This is not merely a bump in the road, it's a significant indicator of deeper, underlying issues that require urgent attention. Stoicism, a philosophy with enduring relevance, offers valuable insights into managing such breakdowns. Central to maintaining any meaningful relationship is effective communication. It's the very conduit through which we express our needs, share our thoughts, and establish genuine connections. When we lose this vital connection, it's like navigating a relationship blindfolded. We're left to guess the thoughts and feelings of others, often misconstruing them, which only compounds the frustration and isolation. The Stoics emphasized the importance of clear, honest dialogue and practiced it diligently. They valued listening with intent, understanding with empathy, and responding with thoughtful consideration. Their teachings remind us that to communicate effectively, we must also listen effectively. But what steps should you take when communication fails? Recognizing that these breakdowns are symptoms of larger issues is the first step. Whether it's trust issues, lingering resentments, or simply mismatched communication styles, each problem has roots that need exploring. Stoicism teaches us to face these challenges with a clear mind and an open heart. It encourages us to reflect inwardly, consider our own contributions to the breakdown, and aim for honesty and transparency in our interactions. Let me share a modern story that illustrates this beautifully. Imagine Sarah and Joe, a couple who struggled with communication. Each time they tried to discuss issues, arguments ensued, leaving them frustrated. They decided to apply Stoic principles, starting with introspection and honest dialogue. Initially challenging, this approach led them to understand each other's perspectives better and resolve their issues amicably. Now, I ask you, what might you discover about your relationships if you took a moment to reflect on your role in communication failures? Could a Stoic approach enhance your interactions? Effective communication is not just about talking. It's about connecting, understanding, and resolving. Embrace these principles and you might find that even the most challenging relationships can be transformed. What value will you bring to your next conversation? In the wise words of Marcus Aurelius, a steadfast proponent of reason and logic, we find a powerful approach to overcoming the hurdles in communication within our relationships. Imagine Aurelius today, guiding us to strip back our emotional overlays and view our interactions under the clear light of logic. What areas are we failing in communication? Why is this so? And what pragmatic steps can we take to amend this? As you ponder these questions, consider the effort required from everyone involved to foster a zone where voices are not only heard but valued. Communication is not just about waiting for your turn to talk. It's about actively engaging with another's viewpoint, trying to grasp the essence of their experiences and emotions. It demands that we express ourselves not only with clarity, but with respect, steering clear of baseless accusations and assumptions. The essence of Stoicism teaches us the value of empathy and compassion in our interactions. Often, what seems like hostility or apathy in others might just be a shield against their own vulnerabilities. Imagine a world where every misunderstood word or heated exchange is not an end point, but a starting point, an opportunity to deepen mutual understanding and strengthen our bonds. How would our relationships transform if we viewed every communication challenge as a chance to enhance our dialogue and fortify our connections? Here, patience and persistence are your allies, encouraging you to persevere in the face of setbacks. Reflect on the Stoic ideals of clarity, honesty, and empathy. How can these ancient principles guide us through modern troubles in our interpersonal dealings? It's not merely about increasing the quantity of our conversations, but enriching the quality of our exchanges. In the depth of effective communication lies the true spirit of connection and comprehension, the bedrock of all meaningful relationships. So, let me ask you, when faced with communication challenges in your relationships, how often do you step back to assess the situation through a lens of compassion and logic? Could embracing these Stoic virtues be the key to transforming your interactions and, consequently, your relationships? Remember, the goal is to not just talk more, but to communicate better and discover the profound bonds that come from truly understanding one another. 11. Ending relationships that disturb peace. Imagine continuously navigating a turbulent sea, where the ideal haven of tranquility seems ever elusive. This metaphor captures the essence of a relationship that, far from being a source of peace and comfort, serves as a persistent storm disturbing your inner calm. It's challenging when the connections meant to enrich our lives instead cost us our peace of mind. Such experiences are stark indications that it might be time to pause and critically evaluate the role these relationships play in our lives. Rooted in a philosophy that has withstood the rigors of time, Stoicism teaches the immense value of tranquility. It instructs us to foster an inner calm that remains steadfast, unaffected by the tumult of external circumstances. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control, reflects Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher. This perspective is not merely academic but intensely practical, especially when applied to personal relationships. The Stoics emphasize that peace of mind is not just a valuable asset, it is essential for a fulfilling life. They advocated for maintaining equanimity amidst life's inevitable highs and lows. This philosophy extends to managing our relationships with wisdom and discernment. When relationships consistently undermine our tranquility, the Stoics would argue that it may be prudent to sever ties, even if those bonds are with family or friends. By employing a Stoic lens, we can see that preserving our mental and emotional well-being might necessitate difficult decisions. It's about recognizing when a relationship transforms from being a mutual exchange of respect and support into a one-sided drain on our emotional reserves. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a call to action, not just for self-preservation, but for the cultivation of a life that allows for growth and personal peace. In our modern lives, fraught with complex social dynamics and relentless pressures, these teachings are more relevant than ever. We are often encouraged to maintain connections at all costs, but Stoicism invites us to prioritize our inner peace by carefully choosing which relationships we allow to influence our lives. The decision to end a relationship, especially one fraught with conflict or negativity, is an act of courage and an essential step towards personal liberation and tranquility. When we face the challenge of a relationship that continually disrupts our peace, what actions should we consider? Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in practical wisdom, prompts us to first step back and objectively evaluate the source of our discontent. You might wonder, why is this relationship unsettling me? Is it due to the other person's behavior, unresolved issues, or my own expectations and reactions? This introspection is vital, as it shifts our approach from being emotionally reactive to thoughtfully responsive. After pinpointing the root cause of the disturbance, we must then assess our options for change. Is there a possibility for resolution through frank and open dialogue? Are there boundaries that need to be established or strengthened? Stoicism does not endorse a passive acceptance of all life's challenges, but rather implores use to change what we can and accept what we cannot. However, if despite your best efforts, the relationship remains tumultuous, it's essential to question its role in your life. This is not about hastily withdrawing at the slightest hint of difficulty, but about understanding when a relationship is fundamentally at odds with your values and your quest for peace. Choosing to distance oneself from a disruptive relationship is a decision that shouldn't be made lightly. It demands bravery, truthfulness, and occasionally the readiness to part ways for your own mental health. But let's be clear, the Stoic aim isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about developing a resilience that helps us meet life's challenges with composure. Ultimately, the relationships we keep should bolster our pursuit of peace, not hinder it. They should be wellsprings of strength, growth, and happiness, rather than sources of perpetual strife. Imagine you're in a friendship that, despite your best intentions, leaves you feeling drained and stressed. As you reflect on this relationship through a Stoic lens, you realize that the friendship requires more from you than it offers in return. It's a tough realization, but it leads you to a decisive moment. By choosing to set boundaries or perhaps step away, you're not only practicing Stoic wisdom, but also honoring your own path to a life filled with peace, purpose, and profound satisfaction. So if a relationship consistently disturbs you, view it as a chance to apply Stoic principles. Reflect, evaluate, and decide on the course that leads to tranquility. Let's make it our goal to surround ourselves with people who enhance our peace rather than diminish it. In doing so, we not only adhere to Stoic teachings but also respect our own journey towards a fulfilling life. What steps can you take today to ensure your relationships support your tranquility? Consider this as you reflect on your current connections and strive towards cultivating relationships that truly align with your pursuit of a serene and meaningful existence. As we wrap up today's discussion on the important signs that signal when to end relationships even with those closest to us, I encourage you to reflect on the connections in your own life. Are they enriching your journey, or are they hindering your pursuit of peace and personal growth? Remember, the essence of Stoicism is not just about enduring life's challenges, but actively shaping our lives to be more virtuous and content. I hope this video inspires you to make choices that align with your highest good, ensuring that every relationship contributes positively to your life. If you found these insights valuable, I'd love to hear from you. What are some relationships you've re-evaluated, and how has it impacted your path to personal growth? Share your stories in the comments below, and if you believe this video could help someone you know, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more content that helps you navigate life's complexities with wisdom and resilience. Together, let's continue to grow and support one another in our collective pursuit of a fulfilling life. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember to live intentionally, love wisely, and step boldly into the life you deserve.